Joshua Tree National Park is a place of breathtaking beauty, with its twisted trees, endless skies, and quiet desert valleys. But beneath that beauty lies danger. The heat is relentless, the nights are cold, and the landscape can be merciless to anyone who makes a mistake. For one young couple, a simple weekend trip to this desert would become a haunting tragedy, a mystery that remained unsolved for over a decade, until a shocking discovery finally revealed their fate. The story begins with hope. A husband and his pregnant wife were excited to welcome their first child. To celebrate this next chapter in their lives, they decided to take one last trip together, a peaceful camping weekend under the stars before the chaos of parenthood began. They packed up their car with camping gear, food, and supplies, and headed toward Joshua Tree. They were filled with joy and anticipation, not knowing it would be their final journey. Before they left, they took what would become their last photograph, the husband smiling proudly beside his pregnant wife, her hands resting on her belly, a tent pitched behind them. A simple picture of happiness. When the couple didn't return home, at first, nobody panicked. Friends and family thought they might have lost cell service or decided to extend their trip by a day. But when days turned into weeks, concern grew into alarm. Calls went unanswered. Their car was nowhere to be found. They had disappeared without a trace. Authorities launched a massive search. Helicopters scanned the desert from above. Rangers searched trails, caves, and canyons. Dogs were brought in to track their scent. Volunteers walked for miles under the scorching sun. But strangely, there was nothing. No tent, no backpacks, no shoes, no car. It was as if the desert itself had swallowed them whole. Speculation quickly grew. Some believed they had gotten lost in the brutal heat, disoriented and dehydrated, and collapsed somewhere in the vast wilderness. In Joshua Tree, daytime temperatures can soar past 110 degrees, while nights can plunge to near freezing. Without enough water, even a short hike can be deadly. Others suspected foul play. Could someone have harmed them? Could they have stumbled upon something secret, something they were never meant to see? Rumors swirled, but none brought answers. Months passed. The case grew cold. Theories shifted. A few whispered darker suspicions. Had the husband lured his wife into the desert intentionally? Or had something else happened entirely? But without evidence, the questions remained unanswered. The only certainty was that 2 lives, and 1 unborn life, had vanished into silence. For 11 long years, the mystery remained. Their families lived with heartbreak, trapped between hope and despair. Every birthday, every anniversary, every holiday was a painful reminder of what had been stolen from them. Most agonizing of all was the thought of the unborn child, a life that had never been given the chance to begin. Joshua Tree had kept its secrets well. And then, more than a decade later, the silence was broken. A lone hiker, exploring a remote and isolated part of the park, noticed something strange in the sand. At first, he thought it was the remains of an animal, bleached bones half buried by the wind. But as he looked closer, he felt a chill. These were not animal bones. These were human. Authorities were alerted immediately, and investigators rushed to the scene. What they uncovered was heartbreaking. Beneath the earth lay the skeletal remains of 2 adults, positioned close together, as if they had collapsed side by side in their final moments. And then came the most haunting discovery of all. Within the remains of the woman were the smaller bones of an unborn child. After 11 years, the couple had been found. For the families, the discovery brought both sorrow and relief. At last, they had an answer. At last, the mystery was solved. But the reality was devastating. They had died alone in the wilderness, far from help, with no one to hear their cries. The child they had so eagerly awaited had perished with them, never given the chance to live. Even with the remains discovered, questions linger. Did they simply lose their way and run out of water? Were they trapped by the unforgiving heat? Or was there something more sinister, something that will never be uncovered? The desert does not easily give up all of its secrets. Joshua Tree is beautiful, but it is unforgiving. It is a place where a single wrong turn can mean disaster. For this young family, it became the place where their lives ended, frozen in time. Their last photograph, two smiling faces, filled with hope and love, remains as a heartbreaking reminder of what was lost. Their story lives on as both a mystery and a warning. A warning of the dangers of the desert, and a reminder of how fragile life can be. What was meant to be a joyful camping trip became a tragedy, one hidden for 11 years beneath the silence of the sands. And now, at last, the mystery has an ending. A family lost, finally found. A story of love, of loss, and of the merciless power of nature.